Well, thanks, Brenda, so much for joining me today. I'm just so delighted that you took the time and you have you've done so many interesting things and accomplished so many things. I'm looking forward to finding out more about that. So anyway, you and you have accomplished you have accomplished a lot of things um professionally, and also you've accomplished some things personally because you overcame a very huge health challenge at one time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be able to talk with you, Cindy. Yes, in 2015, I was diagnosed with a incurable cancer, and it's one of those lifestyle things that they don't know how to cure the cancer. The Lord knows, but they don't know.
Right.
So therefore, I took it upon myself that if I would try and live as healthy as I could. And so that's what I've been doing over the last, oh gosh, 2015, 9 years.
Hmm.
I've just been trying to stay as healthy as I can. I exercise. I try to watch my diet. Um, and I try to put into place things that will keep me healthy. And so that's basically what I've been doing. My whole goal is to finish out my life as healthy as I can and explore as many things and new opportunities as I can. And so that's the goal, the health goal that I have, and to do it with with as much energy and vigor as I can.
Yeah, except sometimes because I have known you for a while, when I'm talking to you, you have to remind yourself to eat. You, oh, I better go get something to eat.
Absolutely,
So that's
absolutely,
what you
because
need to do.
that's why I have this water bottle here. I don't know if you can see it,
Yes, I can
but
see it.
it has like the times of the morning all the way through the end of the day of how much water I should be drinking. And so if I look at the time and I look at this bottle and it says I was supposed to have 16 ounces by 2 o'clock, I have to go and drink it, so that
Wow.
just so I can stay hydrated because water is very important to the body. Um, but yeah, that's basically my goal for my health.
Yeah. But you're also part of an organization called Cancer Survivors. Is that correct? Where you support
Yeah,
other
it's called
people? Yeah,
Tucson
tell me about
Cancer
that.
Survivors.
Mhm.
Pardon?
I said, tell me about that.
Tucson Cancer Survivors is an organization in Tucson, and they it's a support group for cancer people, women basically who have had cancer, are having cancer, or are trying to avoid having cancer. So they're affiliated with a lot of the specialists that are um, cancer doctors, heart surgeons, and we get a lot of training from these people. But it's a social organization, so we don't just come together and talk about, oh, I got this cancer and this is the ache that I have today.
Right. Yeah.
We actually, it's a support group. So I've discovered that having cancer, people that don't have cancer don't know how to really communicate in a supportive way to people who do have cancer or have had cancer or cancer surgeries. And so this support group really is mentally inspirational, it's mindful, and they also, we go on retreats, we go and have fun, we have birthday parties, we go bowling, we go this month they're going to have a 3-day retreat, a women's retreat, and we're going to go to a resort, and I know there will be training there, but they'll be exercising and things like that. So it's a very close knit organization. I can say close knit, but there's hundreds of women that are in there and the supporters that support these women. So it's really a great group.
And do I remember correctly, or do you do some hiking and some rock climbing as well?
Yes. Uh, I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish before the end of my life, and one of them is rock climbing. So I did try that. Let me see. Earlier this month, I did do some rock climbing, and it was one of those walls where you can go to some place and they strap you in, so if you fall on your butt, you don't break it. And so I did climb the wall. I didn't get very far because the wall wasn't very well maintained, but I did climb it as high as I could go before
Good
I
for you.
started running into the things that weren't working right on the wall. And so I came back down, and I like to go hiking and bicycling and things like that. I like to stay as active as possible because um, in it life really is meaningful with the people that you hang out with and the things that you do to make your life worthwhile. And so, you can have tons of money or you can be working toward tons of money, but it's just a tool to help you have that lifestyle that you want to have. So that's really what I'm working toward, is the lifestyle.
And relationships with people, because I know
And
people are,
relationships with people, that's part of it. Yeah.
yeah.
Because without the relationships, I don't care how much money you have, how many houses you have. It's worthless unless you have the relationships to go along with it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And if at one point you had a service that was not a taxi service, but driving people from point A to point B. Is that correct? Did you do that?
I was a taxi cab driver, yes.
Yeah. You dealt with a lot of people in that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, mostly I dealt with people that were handicapped.
Oh,
And
I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
usually I would take, if they were in a wheelchair or something like that, I would take them to the appointments, shopping for groceries, things like that, helping them get out of the house and have, some type of a life. And so they would set appointments. I'd take them to the airport or wherever they needed to go. And I work for this company. Yes.
But that's a special service because not everybody would be that patient with people and helping them get their equipment out and those kind of things. So, that's really a wonderful contribution that you made there. And then you did some time as a manager of a store, is that correct? For a short period of time. It's fun to hear your
I'm
story.
surprised you remember all that stuff. Yes, I was a manager for this discounted clothing store.
Hmm.
And I worked nights. It was very challenging because the store was actually closing when they hired me on.
Yeah.
And we lived in whether not we lived, but the store itself was in a shopping mall where there was a lot of stores that were closing.
Oh, wow.
And so it was challenging because people would just come in and steal. And so that was a learning experience for me because I had never been in a situation like that. So it was definitely a learning experience. And I learned that different personalities would come in and they would try different things, but they were just there to steal. So it was definitely a learning challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were probably quite happy that the store was closing anyway, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was really glad because they had asked me to stay on to the very end, and everybody else was quitting left and right. And they were saying, well, can you just stay on to the end? So I did. I did promise them that I would stay, but I'll tell you, it was like the month before I was ready to quit, way before they closed.
Yeah. Well, but see that's just I don't know if you ever need it on a resume, but it's not necessarily, it's just a learning experience for you. So that was a benefit there. Yeah. And then you are very articulate when you express yourself, when you write and so forth. Have you done writing in the past, or is that something you
Yes. I have a military background,
I
and
had forgotten that. Yes.
during my second tour, I was in England. Well, actually, I was here in Arizona, and I was trained as a journalist, and so I would I would write for the base newspaper. I actually ran a speakers bureau for them as well, and so then when I went overseas, that's all I did was I just wrote news story, ran the newspaper, that type of thing. And so currently, I'm volunteering with a nonprofit, a Christian nonprofit organization. They house young women, and
Mhm.
so they have a newsletter. So I proof their newsletter for them, and I do all of the editing and the copy editing and the proofreading, and so I've also just recently, I haven't quite launched it yet, but I have a website that I'll be launching my services for the proofreading service that I'll be offering.
Yeah, and that's what because I wasn't sure of the connection. And so I was wondering how you got started in proofreading. So that's how you got started in proofreading. And then, and you're very good at it. And you have actually had, well, if I remember correctly, you've had authors ask you to proofread their book and you're amazed at how people's grammar and so forth just isn't
It
up to
is
par.
amazing. It is amazing. I like to read a lot, and
Yeah,
even books that have been, you know, done by publishing houses, it's like they just miss things. You know, it's like a double, like you'll be reading and you'll all of a sudden see and they forgot to take it out, or somebody just missed it in the final proof. And so it's just things like that. I catch it because they just jump out at me.
yeah. And isn't that what they used to have editors for and newspapers and so forth to count?
True.
And now
Absolutely.
everything is done so automatically and digitally and all that other stuff. It gets missed, I'm sure.
Well, a lot of it is ebooks,
Hmm.
and a lot of people rely on artificial intelligence, which is really good.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is really good,
Uh-huh.
but if you don't know sentence structure, or if you don't know, um, there's certain nuances to writing that the AI and Grammarly they don't catch,
Right.
because they don't catch. A lot of times they will suggest a correction, and the correction actually causes the correction, though, may be correct, but not in that sentence. So
Right.
what it'll do is it'll make another error, and then you have to try and figure out what that error is. So it's kind of like, it's AI is good, Grammarly is good. It's just, you just have to know what a sentence is supposed to look like, and you know, and just be able to pull it all together,
Right. Yeah.
because those two together, they're really good, but they miss stuff, and that's just it.
And then you have to go correct AI or Grammarly. You have to go correct.
True. Well, yeah, it isn't that they're wrong. It's just that
Right.
they make errors and they don't catch everything.
Right. Yeah. And you're certainly a good person to do that. So you had, so one of the things, if I remember correctly, that relaunched your proofreading business that you're embarking on, is that someone asked you to proofread their book. It was very,
Yes,
it was
I was
kind of
on.
lengthy. Hmm.
Yeah, I was on Facebook, and I was actually looking for. I don't know if you want me to say Facebook, but anyway, I
Okay.
was on social media, and
Okay.
I was in a group, and I saw this woman. I was reading her profile. It was very interesting. And so I communicated with her, and then she came back, and I actually looked at her website, and in one of the posts that she had, she was looking for people, so I volunteered
Hmm.
to proofread her book,
Hmm.
and that's how I got to proofread her book. But then I've been looking online on social media, and I noticed that a lot of the people that are writing ebooks, what they're doing is they're doing the same thing. They're posting, please read my ebook, and you get a free copy and stuff like that. And so it's not uncommon. At least that's what I've discovered, that I've seen like several in the last few weeks actually, where people are advertising, they're posting on their website, and they're saying, I have this ebook coming out on this day. I'm looking for volunteers to read it. And what they're looking for is just people to read it. But the problem is that I just can't read it. It's kind of like stuff jumps out at me, and it's like, should I tell this person that they need to correct this?
They're so enthusiastic about writing, but people have to be able to read it correctly. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true. And it's really disturbing, because I read stuff, and sometimes the plot is so good. And then you get to this point where they have a whole paragraph that makes no sense. And like, I was reading this one
really,
book, and they actually interjected a name that was nowhere else in the entire entire book, and it made no sense. And the character was not there. It was just a name. And I know what happened is they were doing something, and somehow that name got misplaced by another name, and it
hmm,
was, but they just didn't catch it. So
yeah, yeah. But now you have your own website. And
I'm
so
still
tell me
working
about the
on it.
website. Yeah, go ahead. Your new website.
I'm still working on it because I want to put a video in that kind of explains who I am, what I do,
Hmm.
and I needed to put in um, a page that people could actually pay me for my services because I don't have that in there yet. So
Right.
that'll be the last piece that I'll put in, the last page that I'll put in.
Good. Oh, that's exciting stuff. Wow. And you're so good at it. You're going to have fun doing all this proofreading.
It's actually a learning process because I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, but you have past experience and you can point to your military experience. And, I had never known that military part before. So that's a perfect way to get started in what you're doing. Then you also have another business that you work another business of
That
your
is
own, and
true. That is
and tell
true.
me how you got started in that and what you like about it.
I got started in it many years ago. A friend of mine who didn't stay with the business, she had me send, I don't know if you can, I'll say the product. The product was a card,
Hmm.
and it was sent through the mail
Hmm.
from my computer.
Hmm.
And I thought that was the neatest thing. And so at the time, I was actually doing another business. And so I said, well, I'll just keep this in my back pocket until, so if this other business, it was investing in real estate. I said, if this business doesn't pan out, then I will have something to fall back on. And so I let it sit for about a couple of years. I didn't do anything with it. And then the other one didn't pan out. And so I went back. I started the other one. And so that one has been a learning experience because the um, the personal development that I'm getting is just astounding. I mean, I've like I feel like I've reinvented myself over and over and over again because I keep learning something new that changes the way I perceive myself in the world around me. And so I'm really loving the personal development that I'm getting with
And
this
that
business.
business deals with relationships as well. So it seems like
Yeah,
so much of what you have done is having to do with relationships.
that is true. And the thing I like about the business is that I did not really, when I really first got started after, not doing anything for a few years,
Hmm.
I started sending cards to my relatives because I have a huge family. I have, at the time, I had like five brothers and three sisters. And so, wait a minute, five brothers, it was eight of us, put it that
Oh,
way,
wow. Yeah.
and one half brother in New York. And so that was a total of nine. And so
Oh,
anyway, all my brothers and sisters, except myself and my youngest brother, they all had at least four children apiece. And then those children had children, and those children had children. So it was a huge family that has just mushroomed. And so I had no connection with them because they were all over the place. And I'm the only one, well, currently I not now, but at the time I was the only one in Arizona. And
hmm.
so I began sending them all birthday cards,
Hmm.
and I built a database of the ones that I could reach out to, and so I became the aunt that sent birthday cards.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So I branched out and I started, whatever networking group I was in, I began to send cards as well to them. And so I began to build a business.
Yeah. But then that reminds me of something, and then I'm going to get back to, but you branched out your networking more recently, physical networking with people. Is that correct? I mean, you were part of a chamber of commerce and then you said, well, I think you need to go meet more people. So have you been going to more networking events recently?
Not yet, not
Oh,
yet.
okay.
I have been reaching out, but it's been slow. I
Hmm.
haven't I haven't been going as fast as I want to.
Well,
But I just, I figured the time will come when, when it'll gain momentum. Whatever I'm doing right now will gain momentum. And so although I may be starting slow, I know it will gain momentum.
but then you also, but I mean, by people seeing who you are and not only with your website and so forth, but you have done some posting on social media before. And when you did
True.
that posting, it was a tool that was very useful. When you did that posting, you got really good response and really good engagement with that, didn't you?
I did, yes. And the thing was is that I I don't know if it was the Facebook algorithm or whatever it was, but I was getting responses, but I was getting response from the same crowd. It wasn't going any further than those
Mm-hmm.
people that were responding.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been looking even with the proofing business, I'm looking at different avenues where I can expand or scale how many people actually see my posts, because if the same people are seeing my posts, it's not as effective as when 100 more people can see my posts, and so forth and so on. So what I'm doing currently is I'm looking at more specific groups to post in, and what my strategy is that I'm going to start responding to their posts more often, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to just posting,
Yes.
posting, posting. And so I think that if I can do that more often, then I will get a wider audience. And if I were just posting, even though it's good content, um,
Yes.
but if I can post and form those relationships, so that's one of the strategies that I want to use to gain engagement, gain
Mm-hmm.
relationships, and be able to slowly, as over time, grow my business.
Right. Yeah. And of course, and I've heard that from people in our profession that actually talk about train on posting on social media, and they will say go and engage on other people's feed and those kind of things and make comments and like and share and those kind of things. And when they see you doing that, they'll be more apt to come and look and see what you have posted and engage with what you're posting. So that's helpful. And as long as the social media platform doesn't change so much that you have to keep up with it all the time. I mean, that's very helpful.
I know it's really
But you're
it's
doing a great
confusing
job.
at times. It is confusing at
Mhm.
times, and it's just something that you just have to put up with at this point.
Right, yeah. And so the primary, in addition to your proofreading business, the other business that you're engaged in, you have an opportunity to have people join you in that business. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And and the
And that's
benefits,
exciting.
yeah, the benefits of doing that. And it's kind of like building you're working together with a team of people instead of working
Just
entirely
by
on your own.
myself,
Well,
yes.
yeah,
The,
and
the
it's fine. Go, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, the one business is it's revenue generating, excuse me, not revenue generating. Yeah, well, the proofing business is one-on-one, just revenue generating. And once the sale is done, it's done.
Mhm.
And once the work is produced, it's done. But the other business is um,
Gives you residual income, if I'm not
residual
mistaken.
income. That is the
Hmm.
word I'm looking for.
Hmm.
Yes, it will give me residual income. And that's what I'm looking for, because I have other plans to use. I mean, I want to use it as a tool for my travel aspirations and things like that.
So remind me of your travel aspirations. I'd forgotten about that. Remind me of that. Yeah, tell me.
Well, this year is kind of busy this year. Next month I'll be in Mississippi. I'll be visiting my granddaughter. She invited me to come down for her birthday, so I'll be down there.
Mhm.
Um, This month, I'll be in Tubac, Arizona. I'll be on a retreat. But my biggest one is next year. I plan to go to the Netherlands, because I want to go to the Tulip Festival in the Netherlands. And so I'm working now to raise the capital for that. And I've already figured out it's going to cost me about 5,000 just to get over there and have place to stay, and be able to stay there for about a week or so.
Mhm.
And then I want to while I'm there, I want to hop on the little ferry that they have, go across the channel, and go and visit my ex who is in England. And the thing is that I want to be able to take my daughter and granddaughter with me.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's because my granddaughter, she really loves her granddad, and she's only seen him like once or twice. And so I
Yeah.
figured I could take them with me as I go to the Tulip Festival, and then we'll hop the ferry and go over to England.
What a trip. Oh man, that sounds fascinating. Plus, and you're not having well, I mean, a lot of people travel by themselves. If I'm traveling, I would think it would be much more pleasant if if your daughter and your granddaughter were with you, and then it's like a big family
Yeah.
reunion. So,
Yeah, well, I've been talking to them about it. It's like it's almost a year away now. It's 11 months away now because
mhm,
the Tulip Festival starts in April. And
yeah.
so I have 11, no, I don't want to say 11 months. I have until December
Mhm,
to get the funds ready and, put things together so that I can go.
mhm, yeah. Well, that will be exciting, and just think of all the photos that you can,
And the memories, yeah,
oh, the memories, yeah. And then you can send me a card from your
from
trip.
the Netherlands and the tulips.
Well, thank you so much for visiting with me today, Brenda. It's been absolutely delightful. You're a very talented lady. You've accomplished a lot, and you have so much more to accomplish. It's incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
And we will visit in the near future. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks so much, Brenda.
thank you, Cindy.
I'm
Okay.
grateful for you.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.